Hey everyone, Jensen here again. There was a very interesting game from Group G of Worlds where Genji took a rather dominating lead against Team Liquid, after which they overdived on one of the inhibitor turrets where Team Liquid were able to pick up a whole bunch of shutdowns, secure the Baron for themselves, and it looked like a comeback could have been possible for the North American team. Now we're going to examine that Baron scenario and ask ourselves the question if Team Liquid could have played it out better to have won versus Genji. Now let's examine the scenario itself. So this is what the minimap looks like, and in this case only Ziggs has a TP available. Shen does have his ulti available at this point of time. Team Liquid just secured the Baron. What should they do after the recall? Option number one is to play 1-3-1 and go on 3 lanes. Option number two is to play on 2 lanes and to go mid bot. Option number three is to play on 2 lanes and go mid top. And option number four is everybody's favorite, ARAM with 5-man mid. Now, take some time to think about it. Which option would you go for if you were in the position as the shot caller of Team Liquid? And with that, let's examine which of these answers are appropriate. Now, the 1-3-1 interplay on 3 lanes is not the best idea, and it deals with a common myth that we often see when teams have Baron buff, that you always have to play on 3 lanes. I'll elaborate a little bit more on this, but the other option that we can eliminate is to go mid-top due to the position of the waves at the moment. And if your answer was to play on 2 lanes and go mid-bot, you have found the correct solution. But if you said that we can play 5-man mid as Team Liquid, that could be possible as well, given the steps that you take before eventually ending up 5-man mid, as there's a tier 1 mid turret available for the taking as well. Now, let's talk about the myth that Baron is best utilized in 3 lanes. What you have to realize here is that if you go with this form of 1-3-1 opening on the map, it results in a scenario where your opponents are guaranteed a 4v3 on the mid engage or a 5v4 on a bot side fight. And that is exactly what Genji does in this game as they force 4-man mid onto the members of Team Liquid as they walk out 3-man strong in the mid lane. They pick off the Ziggs and things don't look too good for them. So here's a screenshot from the game itself, exactly this scenario, with Camille forcing onto the Ziggs, killing the Ziggs, and as a result, 2/3 of the Baron buff is wasted simply waiting for the Ziggs to respawn. Team Liquid then attempted to play mid bot from there, but were not successful as the Baron buff ran out as they approached the opponent's tier 2 turrets. So why not mid top? Now this deals with the macro basics of the game. There is a bot wave that is pushed deeper on the side of Team Liquid at this point of time, and they have to answer that first. If they were to simply start a base race scenario on the top side of the map, Genji would be 30 seconds faster in the base race scenario, and despite having the Baron buff, it is too big of a disadvantage to overcome. Now how should Team Liquid have executed the mid bot scenario? Right, the first idea is that the 3-man strong unit, so some small macro tips here, fastest person on side lane, which Diarrhea was on time, to defend the side lane wave against the Sylas. And on top of that, they have to be ready for a fight in case the Sylas does decide to contest the wave. So Sejuani, Shen, and Ziggs all have to be rushing out to the bottom side of the map to back Diarrhea up in case of a fight. They do not need to show on the bot lane wave, however, as they are looking to then help the Jax, who will then be escorting the mid lane wave so that he's able to continue to push them out. This would then disconnect Silas, Genji Silas from the rest of the team, and will enable Team Liquid to take the complete control of the bot side jungle through the river using this method. From there, they will be able to play mid bot, execute this out, and take multiple turrets, and at least even the goal, if not possibly go for an inhibitor. If a fight is won by Team Liquid, looking for a game end scenario might be possible too. So how about the ARM scenario? Now, given that there is a mid turret and you have the superior range here as Team Liquid, given that there's a Ziggs on your team, this might be an eventual opportunity. But as per the mid top scenario, you do need to answer the fact that there is a pushed wave in on the bottom side of the map first. You can end up going ARAM, but first, if you do the same steps, initial steps, as going through mid bot, rushing out to the side lanes, and then enabling Aurelia to group with the team as 5, you can end up being ARAM mid, which might be a possible execution given the nature of Team Liquid's composition. And with that, I hope I've clarified a big myth that you always have to play on 3 lanes when you have the Baron buff. That wraps up day 2 of groups. I might be looking at some additional content during the 1 day of break, but this was the botched Baron buff usage from Team Liquid. If you enjoyed this style of content, please do consider liking this video. It really helps push it up the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing to my channel. Your support is highly appreciated. There's no Worlds for today, but with the return of things and the position the Western teams are in, my personal take is that I still think FPX is still going to win it all. But still, get hyped for Worlds.